So you're reading a trial, something I do frequently. Primary outcome has a hazard ratio of 0.85 with a p-value of 0.03. That shows some statistical significance, and we think that the drug works. Next. But there's another number sitting right next to that p-value, and most people treat it like a footnote. But it's not a footnote. It's arguably the most important, useful, single piece of information in that entire results section. It's the 95% confidence interval. And today we're going to talk about what it actually means, what everyone thinks it means, which is wrong, and why that difference matters. So why do confidence intervals matter? A p-value tells you one thing, whether an effect is likely to be real or likely to be noise. That's it. It tells you nothing about how big the effect is, nothing about how precisely it was measured, nothing about whether it matters to your patient. The confidence interval answers all three of those questions. It tells you the range of plausible values for the true effect, and the width of that range tells you how much uncertainty you're carrying. A narrow confidence interval means precision, and a wide confidence interval means the data is doing its best, but the sample size was too small or underpowered, or variance was high, or both. And a confidence interval that crosses the null, 1.0 for hazard ratio and 0 for absolute difference, means you cannot statistically distinguish the effect from nothing. P-value tells you whether to take the result seriously. Confidence intervals tell you how seriously and in what direction. So what is a confidence interval anyway? So here's the definition that you'll see everywhere. The 95% confidence interval is the range within which the true population value falls 95% of the time. That sounds right. It is subtle, but it's wrong. The true effect is a fixed number. It doesn't bounce around. We just don't know what it is. Your interval either contains it or it doesn't. There's no probability left to assign. A correct interpretation of a confidence interval is if you ran this study 100 times and calculated a confidence interval each time, 95 of those intervals would contain the true value. The 95% describes the procedure, not your specific interval. Think of it like a fishing net. Cast it 100 times using the same method, and you'll catch the fish 95 times. But once you've cast it, the fish is either in the net or it isn't. Your net doesn't have a 95% chance of containing the fish right now. It either does or doesn't. Now, practically speaking, treating the confidence interval as the range where the true effect probably lives isn't catastrophically wrong. Just know what it actually means when somebody pushes you on it. All right, let's look at confidence interval in action. Again, comparing sprint versus accord BP. You've met these trials before if you watched the PICO episode. Same intervention, intensive blood pressure target below 120 compared to the same standard of care below 140. Different populations, basically just by diabetes, and very different confidence intervals. So in the sprint, adults 50 and older with hypertension and elevated cardiovascular risk, again with no diabetes, had a primary composite outcome with a hazard ratio of 0.75 and a 95% confidence interval of 0.64 to 0.89. In the Accord BP trial, same protocol, but with a population of type 2 diabetes included, the primary composite outcome here was a hazard ratio of 0.88, and the 95% confidence interval was 0.73 to 1.06. So let's look at those intervals and see what they actually mean. In sprint, the confidence interval runs from 0.64 to 0.89, entirely below 1.0. Every plausible value in that range represents a cardiovascular benefit. The interval is reasonably tight, and we have a precise, consistent signal. In Accord BP, the confidence interval runs from 0.73 to 1.06. It crosses 1. The point estimate of 0.88 suggests a 12% relative risk reduction, which sounds meaningful. But the upper bound of 1.06 means this data is fully compatible with a 6% increase in risk. We cannot distinguish the effect from chance. This is the same target, same comparison. One letter changed in the PICO, and the confidence interval tells you everything about how much confidence you should carry into that exam room. So if the blood pressure example has you feeling a little lightheaded, let's look at a real-world example, the weather forecast.
Lisa, that man is a professional meteorologist.
Your app says tomorrow's high is 74 degrees, but the fine print, which no one really reads, says the range is between 68 to 80. That range is your confidence interval. The point estimate is the forecast. The interval is the uncertainty wrapped around it. A narrow confidence interval, 73 to 75, means the models agree, the atmosphere is stable, and you can leave the house in a t-shirt with confidence. A wide confidence interval, 55 to 93, means the models are basically shrugging. Something's going to happen tomorrow, meteorologically speaking, but the honest answer is that we don't know what it is. Pack layers, bring an umbrella, or maybe consider staying inside. Now here's where misconception in real life surfaces. The forecast doesn't mean there's a 95% chance the temperature lands between 68 and 80 tomorrow. The actual temperature is fixed. It will be whatever it'll be. The 95% describes how often this forecasting method brackets the true temperature correctly over many predictions. Your specific forecast either contains tomorrow's true high or it doesn't. But since you can't know which, the interval is your best guess at deciding whether to pack a jacket or not. Clinical trials work the same way. The true effect of your drug is fixed. Your confidence interval contains it or it doesn't. You don't know which, but the width and the location of the interval is still your best guess to how much certainty you can bring to a clinical question. So that's the 95% confidence interval. It's not the probability the truth is in there. The range of plausible values for a true effect with precision measured by width and significance determined by whether it crosses the null. Next time you read a result, don't just stop at the p-value. Look at the interval. Look at both bounds. Ask what the worst case plausible effect looks like and whether you're still comfortable prescribing at the upper end of that range. The p-value tells you the signal is real. The confidence interval tells you how real and for how much.